Hi, it's Sally at Field to Fork here. Welcome indoors for some healthy cooking. Today I'm going to show you how to make a quick and easy pizza that is so much healthier than those you buy in the shops because it doesn't contain the hidden fats and sugars and salt. Pizza has been a long-standing favourite of ours at Field to Fork. You've probably made one if you've visited here at all. But this one really is quick and simple because it doesn't use yeast that takes time to work. As you know, pizza is made up of 3 parts. There's the base, which is like bread. There's a sauce, which is usually tomato, and then there are toppings. To make sure our pizza is as healthy as possible, we're going to make the base with wholemeal flour, which is made from whole grains of wheat, so gives us the goodness of having the outer as well as the inner parts of the grain in the flour. We're also going to use vegetables for our toppings, so things like peppers and tomatoes, courgettes and spring onions, but also we can experiment with more unusual things like cauliflower or broccoli or leeks, or use frozen things like sweet corn and peas and beans, or things out of tins like tin pineapple. These will all contribute to our 5 a day and give us those vital vitamins and minerals that our bodies need to keep them healthy. Before you start cooking, remember to tie back long hair, to put on an apron to protect the food as much as your clothes, to take off anything on your fingers and wrists, roll up your sleeves, collect together the equipment and the ingredients, wipe down the surfaces, and give your hands a thorough wash in soap and warm water. So to make our quick and easy pizza, for the base you will need 70 grams of wholemeal flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, 80 grams of Greek or natural yogurt, and then we need the tomato sauce. So 50 grams of passata, or you could use pesto for a change. And then you will need a selection of vegetables, which we'll talk about later. And then 50 grams of mozzarella cheese or cheddar to finish it off. Begin by lightly oiling a baking tray and turning on your oven to 190 degrees centigrade, 210 if it's not a fan oven, or gas mark 6. Then tip your flour, your baking powder and your salt, which I've measured together, into a bowl. I'm going to sieve them so that you can see the different parts of the grain. The fine white flour that's the centre part of the wheat grain is falling through the sieve, while the flakes that are the outer coating and called bran are caught. This bran contains the fibre, which is of course good for us. Next, you're going to mix in your yogurt to make a soft dough. Maybe take a little bit of squeezing just to bring it all together. Work in all the dry flour till we get a lump of dough and it leaves the bowl clean. We will then bring it out onto a well-floured table. And gently, with floured hands, we will knead it gently into a ball. Next, roll it out with your rolling pin into a round of about 20 to 25 centimetres. Make sure you have a bit of flour underneath and on your rolling pin to stop it sticking. Once you've got it to the size you want, transfer it carefully onto your baking tray and bake it in the oven for 10 minutes. While it's baking, we can prepare our toppings. And there's a whole variety of vegetables and fruit that are suitable to go on the top of our pizza. But when you choose, try to choose those that are in season. That means they're British grown and are ready and being harvested at that time of year. This means they have the nutrients that are good for us and they have less impact on the planet because they haven't travelled so far. This means that what we put on the top of our pizza will vary according to the time of year. So if you're making your pizza in late spring and summer, you'll find that there are British grown spring onions, asparagus, peppers, courgettes, tomatoes, broccoli, and then later on into autumn, sweet corn. Whereas if you're making your pizza in winter, it's a little bit more tricky. There's not so much available. So you may have to depend on tinned and frozen. But there are things like onions, because they store well and so available all the year round, leeks, which are very much a winter vegetable, and then going into spring, cauliflowers. Or you might be more adventurous and think about using things like beetroot or chopped Brussels sprouts. So choosing vegetables that are British grown is not only good for us and the environment, but it supports our British farmers and growers who work so hard to produce our food to high standard. Since it's winter, I'm going to top my pizza with leek, which is very much a British winter vegetable. There's lots grown in the borders, Northumberland and East Lothian. I'm also going to use some mushrooms, which are not really a vegetable, but again are available all the year round because they grow in special conditions in dark sheds. And then some tinned sweet corn and tinned pineapple. So to prepare the vegetables, I'm going to chop the leek finely using the claw grip and a sharp knife and moving my fingers backwards along the leek. Keep them out the way. I'm then going to wash these bits of leek just to make sure there's no soil amongst them before I use them. The mushrooms I'm going to wipe with a damp cloth just to remove any compost. Take off the stalk and then, making a bridge, slice them. Once your pizza base is baked, take it out of the oven and allow it to cool just so the tray is not going to burn you when you're working near it. And then spread the passata on the top of the base, taking care not to go too near the edges because it'll just be messy. And then load up your pizza with the different toppings. You can make a design if you wish, or you can just scatter them on. Using vegetables of different colours gives you a nice colourful pizza, but it also means that there's different vitamins and minerals there. And then finally, we can just tear and scatter the mozzarella cheese. or you can use cheddar if you prefer. And then you bake it in the oven for a further 10 minutes until the cheese is melted and it's beginning to turn golden. By looking at the Eat Well guide, which shows the different food groups and the proportions of each we need to eat for a healthy, well-balanced diet, we can see just how healthy our pizza was. The base was made of wheat grains, and so was a carbohydrate, giving us energy. And made with the whole grain means it had that fibre too. It also had yogurt, and we used cheese for the topping, so that means we had dairy, giving us the protein and calcium that's good for our bones. The toppings and sauce came from the vegetable section, which should make up a third of what we eat and give us the vital vitamins and minerals that keep our bodies working properly. So really, our pizza was healthy because it used most of the main food groups. So here it is, fresh from the oven, delicious, full of goodness and healthy. With no added extras, you know exactly what is in it. And if you've stuck to vegetables that are in season, you will have helped the health of the planet too. I hope you have fun cooking and eating your quick and easy healthy pizza. And if you do, look out for some other field to fork recipes you can try. Enjoy!